Well, hello again. Pastor Ray Barnett here with you, and I'm glad that you could be with me here on the Oasis. As always, I wish you a good morning, a good afternoon, or a good evening, depending on what time you're watching this broadcast. Well, here in upstate New York, today is December the 6th, 2021, and it's going to be, or it is right now, almost 60 degrees. And that's a far cry from what we had just a few days ago, last week, where we were in the 20s. So that's how it goes. And I really hoped that I could be with you outdoors so we have better atmosphere and better lighting and all that. But it's first of all, it's quite white, quite windy, and it's also just about to rain. Anyway, what I'd like to share with you today is how to use some simple techniques, one in particular, in dealing with depression. Now, I've mentioned to you, and it's no secret really, that since the pandemic started 2 years ago, November, right? COVID-19 started in November. And then we had the shutdowns and stuff come the spring of 2021. Well, since that time, there has been a rather alarming spike in anxiety and in depression. People with mental health issues that were already present, that were already there, are having more complications. And it doesn't take really much to figure out why this is happening. So with that in mind, let me just say that I mentioned to you that I talk to a lot of people, and it's mainly based on the nature of my business, what I do, also somewhat to the extent or related to the fact that I just talk to people. Good morning, how you doing, and getting conversations with people. But every day I have something presented to me. It could be in an email, it could be a comment on the broadcast, it could be a text message, it could be any number of things. But almost every single day, I want to say every day, there's something presented to me. So today, a man that I'm acquainted with asked me for prayer for his wife, who is suffering from depression related to the COVID pandemic and some things that happened there. And amazingly, he was telling me some of the advice that he was giving to his wife, which I wholeheartedly endorse. Now, he's a Christian man. And what he was telling his wife, she's almost housebound. We've talked about that before, that some people, let me say it this way, that some people, once they become housebound, can become housebound for a long time. Because the symptoms, especially of anxiety, well, depression as well, they can just get worse and worse. And then your body, and as well as the brain, becomes habituated, and habits, as you know, are good habits are easy to break. Bad habits, not so easy to break. So our speech and things that we do that are not positive, not good, they become difficult to break. Anyway, he was sharing with his wife that, come on with me and we'll take a walk, because it'll be helpful. And she's from what he told me, I was processing my thoughts as he was speaking. She's pretty depressed, as I know some of you are. So I'm going to just share with you a very simple procedure, and always say to you again and again, with the caveat that simple does not mean easy. So here's this man, he's trying to help his wife to break out of her depression, and exhorts her to, come on, let's just go take a walk, or come over to the gym with me and you can take a walk on the treadmill. and she's reluctant. She doesn't want to. Okay, so we get to the heart of the matter here. When you're depressed, you lose interest. Okay, now nothing here that I'm going to tell you is any big revelation, but the antidote is a bit of a revelation. So when a person's depressed, when you're depressed, you don't want to do anything. You're losing interest in things that once held your interest. You feel overwhelmed. You're dealing with intense discouragement. And, we just take it from there. There's lots of gloom and darkness. Let me just say this too about depression. Depression can be so deep that you can actually almost feel a darkness, like a cloud. And I know because many, many years that happened to me. It was like you can almost feel this cloud just sitting on your mind and on your spirit. And Winston Churchill used to refer to his depression as the black dog. So I'm not going to suggest that you could see it. You could actually see depression when it's very bad, but there is a kind of a cognitive association with this darkness. Okay, and it can be very difficult to break through. So this man is encouraging his wife to come take a walk, and that's very good advice. So what I want to share with you today is how to use your muscles to break through anxiety attacks, panic attacks, and to break through these dark clouds of depression. Simple, yes. Easy, no. And that's where this channel here, to tell you this, is different than most channels, because it's not something that you could just say, oh, that's, just do this and there it is, 1, 2, 3. So many creators on YouTube and of course advertisement, marketing, always make everything seem like, hey, it's just that easy. And there are many things in life that there is no way around it. This is not easy. So I'm saying that to help you, that what I'm about to say is not easy to do. But if you have the courage, and we'll summon up the fortitude to do it, you're going to find you're going to make some great breakthroughs with, in this case in particular, depression. And what you do, as silly as this may sound the way I'm presenting it, you command your muscles to get up out of this. I'm in the chair, right? You can see that. You command your muscles, so you're going to get up and you're going to move, and we're going to get going. Now, we've been through this before. And we're going to go take a walk. Now, you know what? If you're housebound and these anxieties got you and the depression, just walk around your house. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, a walk is a walk. Your body doesn't know if you're outdoors or you're indoors. I mean, your muscles are not going to know. That's what I meant. So you walk around and you set your watch. Walk for a half an hour. Can't do a half an hour, walk for 20 minutes. Can't do 20 minutes, walk for 15 minutes. But what's best is to walk for as long as you can. Some years ago, I had a young man who his diagnosis was schizophrenia. Whenever he would call me up and he was kind of hysterical, I always knew to ask him, have you been taking your medications? Well, no, because, and I said, look, you can't be playing around with your medications. This is something you have to do with your doctor. Anyway, he would be all, amped up and hyped up, and I would say, listen, what I want you to do is I want you to hang up the phone, and I want you to go on a long walk. I don't care where you go, just go on a long walk. And walk in one direction as far as you can until you're starting to feel just slightly tired, slightly. Turn around, come back, and then call me again. Oh, an hour or so went by, and he calls me back, and he's still all hyped up. He's still all anxious, frantic, hysterical, or on the border of hysteria. And I said, did you take the walk? Well, no, he gave me all these reasons why. I said, we can't talk like this. You're not on your medications and so on. The idea is that you'll burn off a lot of adrenaline. You'll burn off a lot of these stress hormones with walking. Now, I say walking, if you could get up and go to a gym and lift some weights, do some push-ups, even better. The idea is to get your muscles to start moving. And again, we have covered this before. If it's simply, okay, you haven't been cleaning the house in a couple of days, then you start. And it's going to feel like a monumental task. I mean, when somebody is seriously depressed, something like, and as silly as this may sound to you, something like filling the sugar bowl, can feel like a monumental task. We all know it's not. And even the person that, feels this way, which today could be you, we all know that it's not, but that's how it feels. But the body has a way with depression of making you feel a fatigue that's not actually there. Let's think of it logically. If you go on a very long walk, or you just worked out for 2 hours in the gym, well, you come home and you're a bit tired. If you work manual labor, if that's what you do for a living, then you come home, you're tired. Body's actually tired. I won't mention mind work, which is what I do. That can make you exceptionally tired. But it's still more of a feeling of fatigue because I haven't used my muscles. I haven't done anything here. When I go to the gym, I work out pretty hard, so I am tired, sometimes mentally and physically. But if you just can reason your way through this, and you can see that I haven't used my muscles, been sitting in this chair for hours or maybe days or sometimes weeks, and I need to get up and I need to start moving around. So if it's something simple like cleaning a house, or taking a shower, just start moving the muscles. The muscles, and this is the real point today, the muscles have a way of educating the brain. So the brain is sending a signal down, and this bad depression that you have. And the muscles are responding with this feeling of fatigue, but the fatigue is here. And so the signal goes down to the muscles, and the muscles say, wow, we're really tired. And then it goes back into the cycle that we've talked about before, a vicious cycle. Now, if the muscles, like in baseball, when they put in a pinch hitter, right? So whoever was coming to bat is not going to be there. This is going to be this hopeful individual that can get a hit, triple, home run, whatever, get on base somehow. And it's a pinch hitter. What the muscles can do, if you command them to do so, is they begin to pinch hit for the brain, which is discouraged and darkened and gloomy. The muscles can jumpstart. Now the brain is saying, wait a second, the muscles are moving around. We're outside here taking a walk. By the way, being outdoors is a bit better than just being in the house. But if that's all that you can do, then fine. You begin to experience, even if it's very little, you begin to experience that, hey, I can move. I can get around. And again, the brain receives the signal, and if you can do it habitually, then you're on your way out of the midst of that depression. But let me say this too. When depression is very serious, then you're going to have some counseling to go with it. Otherwise, it's just going to keep perpetuating, and then you'll get discouraged with the walks. Or you'll be able to say, well, I feel good when I'm walking, when I'm working out, when I'm whatever. But as soon as I stop, that just dark cloud just comes back again. So you got to combine it with some good counsel. But putting that aside for a second, if you get to command your muscles, if you got the courage and the fortitude to command your muscles to move about, it can jumpstart the brain. And even if it's just slightly, like I said, it's a slight improvement, be happy with the slight improvement that you're getting from this walk. In Latin, there is an expression that goes like this: solvitur ambulando, which means it is solved by walking. How many of us, that happens to me frequently, my best ideas come when I'm very relaxed, and many of them come when I'm working out, because I'm not using my brain, I'm using my muscles. The muscles are jump-starting the brain and getting me to feel good, because your body is now producing these so-called pleasure hormones and the endorphins, and so the body is starting to feel at least better, if not good. It's starting to feel better than it did. And this is the solution. If it's done on a regular basis, meaning moving your muscles. Again, if it's not the walk and it's not the gym, it's just the cleaning of the house, it's going around, commanding those muscles to move. This is a great technique that has great potential to start to lift you out of the depression. And I want to say this again, in many cases, at least some cases, it's got to be combined with some good counseling to resolve whatever the problem is, including if it's a physiological problem, then you need medical attention. But these are little, and they're not hacks either. These are time-tested, salvitur ambulando. It's Latin, so this is going back thousands of years, that people discovered that they start to feel better. And I'm avoiding the word exercise when they simply start moving their muscles. And you'll find the same too. It's a simple thing. It's not easy to do. And certainly on the subject as broad as depression, this is just a small part of it. But I guarantee you, if you begin a habit starting today, preferably right now when you finish this video, and to get walking, get moving, move your muscles around, give yourself a time, to do it. Stick with the time, 30 minutes, an hour, whatever. You're going to find that there's a bit of a lift. So let me just say something before I pray with you. I really should have said this at the beginning of the broadcast, but these teachings, I always remind you, this is not, like I've watched a lot of YouTube creators and they give you like 15 points. I always have just 1 point, and it takes me the 15 or 20 minutes to make my case. So if you're people who watch a little bit here and they turn it right off, they're not going to get really anything out of it. You got to bear with me, be patient with me, so I can build this case. And even then, as I told you also, we're dealing with a subject that's very wide, very broad, and I'm giving you tiny little pieces day after day. But my hope is that they will add up for you and help you with your anxieties and your depressions and all of these things. So let me pray for you today. Father, once again, help my friends and those who are now subscribing to the channel. Evidently, at least I presume, because of a problem with anxiety or depression or whatever it is. Help them, God. Father, I just ask you today to give them the peace of Jesus Christ in their situation, in their sorrows. And I ask it today, Father, in Jesus' name. Amen. Okay, well, that's all I have for you for today. Move your muscles, and you're going to begin to be on your way to a solution to your depression and as well your anxieties as well. Again, if you're just auditing these videos and you'd like to be with us, I always say it's a small group. It's starting to grow a little bit, but it's a good group. It's a small group. It's advantageous to me to have a small group, because if you make a comment, I can ordinarily and usually respond. So it's a good group. If you'd like to join with us, just subscribe and hit the notification button. I always appreciate your thumbs up if you got something out of this teaching. And that will be it for today. Weather's going to change again. We'll be back down to some colder temperatures, so I'm going to be here in this unprepossessing location probably for some time. All right. God bless. God willing, and the creek don't rise. I'll be with you here again tomorrow on the Oasis. Until then, God bless.